What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, this past Friday, there was a major arrest in the shooting death of Tupac Shakur, right? The person pictured on the screen up here, a lot of you know him from being on DJ Vlad, and just if you're in the music industry and you've been following the Tupac Shakur case. This is Dwayne Davis, aka Keefe D. Now, a lot of speculation and things were circulating around whether he had something to do with the death of Tupac. And he's recently been arrested this past Friday. Now, I was around when Tupac was killed. I was heavy into the rap scene. I was in my 20s. You know, this is 30-something years ago. But still, the man's legacy lived on. His music moved a lot of people in a lot of different races. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people respected him, thought he was gone too soon. You know, he left the earth too early. And I agree. He had musical talent. And it's one of those things that I want to talk about today. After seeing, you know, some of the stuff of what the police said they found and what made them move forward with locking him up, I made a statement last week in one of my videos where I said, I think we're programmed, you know, as Black folk in the Black community to hate each other. Somebody asked me in my live Friday, and shout out to you, is it in our genes to hate each other? I disagree with that. I don't think it's in anybody's genes to hate. Hate is taught at home. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a normal trait that's just naturally in you. You know, you have to learn that from somebody else that's unsatisfied with themselves and wants to put that on somebody else because misery loves company. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I want to play this excerpt from Law and Crime Network that explains a little bit about the situation and some things that I didn't know. And I'll leave the link in the description box to this video so you guys can go and look at the whole thing. But I thought it was interesting, and I'm going to share it with you. We'll watch it and come back and talk about it. Check this out.
But the wheels of justice turn slowly sometimes, and that was the case here, but they got it done.
27 years after rapper Tupac Shakur was shot to death in a car in Las Vegas, a man who confessed to his involvement in the crime is behind bars.
Who shot Tupac?
The keeper for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat, bro.
Filmmaker Mike Dorsey predicted an arrest on Law and Crime nearly 2 months ago.
I think that they are going to close this case. I think that there is very likely going to be an indictment.
Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Anjanette Levy. Las Vegas Metro Police took Dwayne Keefe D. Davis into custody Friday. He's being held on charges related to the 1996 murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. Las Vegas Metro Police searched Davis's home in Henderson, Nevada in July.
The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. We have a search warrant for the resident. You need to come out with your hands up, with your hands empty.
At the same time, a grand jury was investigating Tupac's murder. Tupac Shakur was shot as he was riding in a car driven by Suge Knight one night in September 1996. Tupac had gotten into a fight with a man named Orlando Anderson at the MGM Grand during a Mike Tyson fight. The shooting of Shakur was believed to be retaliation for the fight. Keefe D later confessed that he gave Anderson, who was his nephew, the gun to shoot Tupac Shakur. He made the statement in a proffer to police, but the statement could not be used against him in court. Years later, Keefe D admitted his involvement in Tupac's murder in his book, Compton Street Legend. Many view the book as a confession. Keefe D wrote about that night. I pulled out the Glock that Zip had given me and tossed it in the back seat. Bubble Up did the driving, Baby Lane and Freaky were riding in the back. Like two rams locking horns, Suge and I looked each other dead in the eye. The terrified expression on Suge's face read, "Damn them N-words." He goes on to write, one of my guys from the back seat grabbed the Glock and started busting back. Tupac Shakur died days later, and his murder would remain unsolved for years. Orlando Anderson was shot to death the next year. Filmmaker Mike Dorsey worked with retired LAPD detective Greg Kading on the documentary Murder Rap, which looked at Kading's investigation into the murders of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur. I spoke with Dorsey about the news that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis had been taken into custody.
Well, this has been for me, kind of a 10-year journey since we put out our doc, Murder Rap, which was the first documentary that put out his taped confession that his crew did this. And my reaction is that this has just been a very long time coming, and very, very, it's just an exciting day to finally have this. We didn't think this was going to happen at a certain point. It just seemed like so much time had gone by. You started to wonder, is it really going to happen or not? But the wheels of justice turn slowly sometimes, and that was the case here. But they got it done.
You said that you thought an indictment would be coming, but now you're saying you didn't think this would ever happen. So
Sure.
do you feel like it was taking too long? Because we had heard some rumblings that a grand jury was looking at this.
I'll just say, initially we had heard that it was going to happen very quickly. It seemed like an indictment was, 6 weeks ago, an indictment was like happening, and then nothing. And we heard the grand jury was convening, and it was very airtight. They're not telling us anything. They aren't telling the public anything. So you do start to wonder after weeks and weeks go by if they're really going to pull it off or not.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What kind of witnesses do you think they have? Because everybody else that was in that vehicle that night is dead.
Sure. I know some of the people that they've spoken to, but I can't disclose that. But correct. I mean, all three of the other people that were allegedly with Keefe in the shooter's vehicle, they've all died since this happened. Some of the key witnesses, like Tupac's bodyguard, is dead. Tupac himself, of course, being the closest witness, is dead. Suge Knight, being the next closest witness, will probably never talk about it. So I don't know exactly who they've spoken to that could help them build, a case around Keefe. But I do know that when Murder Rap came out, we heard from a lot of people that had information on this case that had never disclosed it before, who said that it basically filled in the gaps for them of what they already knew. So my guess is that that's who they've been talking to, is people like that who have pieces of the story. And when you put them all together, it's like this tapestry that comes together of a case.
In some of these interviews, Keefe D seemed very cognizant of the fact that he had to be careful about what he said. So he obviously knew that he still was at risk of possibly being prosecuted, but then he goes and writes this book.
Right. All right, guys. That was the video, and watching that really hurt me. And the reason why I say it hurt me is because a lot of us that was alive when Tupac died. I'm from the East Coast. It was the East Coast, West Coast thing going on. Something we ain't never seen. It was different. This is one of the original rap beefs that ended in somebody actually dying. So a lot of the stuff that people see nowadays, where rappers are just getting killed in the street for just crazy reasons, this is the beginning of that type of era where people was really getting serious off of wax, like back in the day, but like off of the record. Now, there was a lot of different swirling scenarios back then. But I mean, as time went by, here it is over 30 years since this man died. And I want you to think about something. That man was 25 when he died. It took over his lifetime for something to be done. People forgot about this case. They did. They forgot all about this case. Hey, Tupac can never get justice or whatever. But the bottom line is this, and I'm going to talk specifically not about the case, but about scenarios that we see that are reoccurring with us, especially younger folk. It's the need to be accepted and be around people that mean you no good. Back in the day, you hear all these stories about Suge Knight. He in jail for doing crazy stuff. The people, putting them in suspended terror to get things to go his way, with the ultimate result being locked up. Tupac's gone. When he had death row, Tupac was the biggest thing he had at that one time. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you keep him out of trouble? That's an asset, not a liability. You got him out there doing thug stuff and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, part of this, I honestly believe, was Tupac's fault. You a celebrity, bro. You ain't got to be punching nobody in the face over some beef that's not really concerning you. Keefe D is a moron. He is. And this show you, man, clout chasing and all that type of stuff. You're not really, I mean, people want to say when they want to do to stay relevant. He went on, what you call it? DJ Vlad's interview, talked, got a little bit exposure, wrote him a book, so on and so forth. You profited off the death of somebody that you had something to do with. They said, oh, he gave the gun to him. That's why he locked up. He gave the gun to him. Don't say nothing on camera. But when you got your attorney with you, but you go and write a book and you just can't help yourself. Now you caught up in the mix. You living in Henderson, out there, Henderson, Nevada. You're an older man. Profiting off the death of him, got you caught up. And that's the thing, man, I don't understand, man. It's like some people have to say something or do something to remain relevant in a story, whether it's negative or positive, the outcome of that story. Me personally, I don't even know if he has any grief or anything like that with his being up older in age. But honestly, I don't even think so. I mean, because it's all about just getting yours. We got to stop using each other as stepping stones to where we just want to profit off of things that we shouldn't even be thinking about. Tupac's dead and buried, been dead and buried. And it's a ripple effect from that, and people are still dealing with repercussions from something that shouldn't have had to been or shouldn't have had happened. That man brought a lot of excitement and touched the souls of a lot of people through his lyrics, music, what have you. When you was managing him and dealing with him like that, you didn't really look at the big picture, only your own personal gain. We got to stop this stuff. For real, we do. Because now you got somebody else locked up. And the thing, let me jump on this real fast. This is typical behavior you see. He had a spat with your cousin. You threw the gun in the back seat, supposedly. First thing out your mouth, you're an old man now. In the interview, they ask you, what happened? You smile. Ain't nothing funny, man. Somebody died. I'm going to keep it like the code of the streets. Somebody in the back seat shot it. It was only 2 people back there, bro. What do you mean code of the streets? You're a 50, probably a 60-something-year-old man now. Close to 60. You talking about code of the streets? Look crazy. But anyway, man, listen. I don't know if he'll get prosecuted or, they got him in an indictment, but I don't know if it'll stick or whatever. But all in all, none of this is going to bring Tupac back. All we have is the memory of his music and what he meant to a lot of people. And another stain on this senseless gun violence and just violence and vitriol we have against each other, period. Envy is serious. And that's the first thing you need to knock out of your life if you want to move forward, especially as a man. Not everybody's going to like you or what you say, but they'll love what you have and they'll always come forward. And even if they can't get it, any crumb from the table, they'll be quick to gobble it up and put themselves close to you or your legacy. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.